Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. Now this is a sheet of black tissue paper. I bought a package from Amazon, so I have enough. And this is a warm-up exercise. Now I have some watered down Blickcrylic. This is titanium white. And instead of drawing black circles on a white tissue, I will be drawing the reverse. Now the tissue is a little wrinkled, but that's okay. The whole point is just to warm up and make marks. And these marks can come in handy later when I cut this up and make it into a collage or part of a collage. And since there is no copyright on circles, anybody can do this. So do not let the idea of being original or not stop you from making artwork. Because we all have to start somewhere. So a good place to start is something easy, like drawing circles. So I see many artists on YouTube, they get very busy with creating textures and patterns. That's fine. You know, it's a fun thing to do, but I want to go beyond that. I want to go beyond just making a texture or a pattern. I want to show you how to compose some artwork. So it's not pattern or texture for the sake of pattern. I want to go a little step further. Okay, so since this is watered down a little bit, it's sticking to the backing paper. I should have used something else, but there we go. So that's one. This is one pattern. Now I will do maybe if I fold it, it will be better. Now I will do lines, just lines. They don't need to be continuous lines. And so this exercise serves several purposes. You get acquainted with your material and you warm up your hand and kind of loosen up. And by loosening up, you create interesting patterns and images. Okay. Then I can also do dots. So these are very simple exercises that anyone can do. And I think they are the least intimidating because there's no special skill involved. Actually, the brush creates very interesting textures by itself. Okay. So there's no need to resort to elaborate stencils or devices. You can just make your own patterns by hand. And I think they're the most genuine and the most authentic. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry and then proceed to the next step. Now here is another interesting material that I found. This is a gift tissue. I also got this from Amazon. And this is a copper colored tissue, and I thought it was colors very pretty. And I thought I could use this as a background. And I have my leftover Mars Black. So I will not let that go to waste. And the same thing I will do my circle. And I vary the thicknesses: medium, fine, heavy. Okay. Then I can also do stripes. I'm going to use this all up. Okay, there. So I have a black tissue with white markings, and I have copper colored tissue with black markings. So I'm gonna let this dry and then assemble something. So don't go away. Okay, everyone, I'm back from a short break. As you can see, I've assembled these warm-up tissue papers into some kind of arrangement. And this will be my first layer for this piece. So I'm going to start mounting this copper one. And I am using I'd say this is a 2-inch brush. And then I have my protective template here to protect the edges from spills. So this is a way of introducing marks to the print by using collage. Now you could say this is a form of Chine Colle because I am using a thin tissue paper as an underlayer for subsequent prints. Because the origin of Chine Colle is it's a technique where you can add layers of color and texture without resorting to making a new plate, because in the old days every time you have a layer you have to make a plate made of metal or whatever metal, it could be zinc or copper, and that's a very labor intensive and expensive. And so by using collage, the artist can kind of dress up the print and introduce colors and images without creating a new plate. Okay, this is the last piece, which is just a plain black form. And it will be an ideal background for what I put on top. I haven't decided yet, but I will get there. Okay, so now this gets air dried and I will proceed to the next step. Okay, this is the plastic sleeve that the Strathmore came in. I'm going to use it as a cheat sheet because I want to map out these elements. And since it's going to be in reverse, I'm going to need a guide so I can carefully place my stencils in certain places, because I intend to use my reusable stencils for the next layer. So I'm just going to trace out the shapes just roughly. I'll mark out the edge. So I'm going to cut along this line so that when I flip it over, it will more or less line up. Okay. So I'm reversing it now. Doesn't have to be super exact, but I just want to expose certain areas of the collage. So I will use certain shapes. It's about an approximation of the location of the pieces. That's why I always save the packaging, because these clear sheets always come in handy. Okay, so I will put on a combination of raw sienna. It's one of my favorite colors. And Arctic. Okay, let's see how this turns out. Again, this is really an experiment. Just clean this up. So I'm expecting that this second layer will have very clean, sharp edges. It's a contrast to the oil resist in previous videos. Now I will add some extra texture. Okay, so here is the piece with the tissue paper collage. And hopefully this will work out. Now, since there's so much glue on this paper, it's a little wavy, but hopefully when everything dries out completely, the paper should be nice and flat. Okay. Let's see what we have here. I think it's a very cool result. Love it. Check this out. How cool is that? And this is just one pull. And it looks like a very complex image. So I will air dry this and then contemplate maybe a third layer. Let's see. So don't go away. Okay, here we are at the third portion of this video. I was able to get some of my larger stencils because I want to expose some of the detail that's underneath, like the little circles and lines. And I am going to use this very bright cadmium red light for this portion, and then some bronze for the other portion. Okay. I'm not 100% sure how this will work out, but it's worth a try. I just wanted to introduce some variation of color on top of what's already there. So here goes. The nice thing about these reusable stencils is they really stick to the plate, and I don't have to worry too much that they will come flying off when I pass the brayer on top of them. Okay. Again, I'm going to add some more details. So you will see later that this is a big contrast to the preceding prints, which were oil resist and were very loose and painterly. This is more, it's a very hard edge type of image. Just making sure my fingers are clean. So here is the print with the second layer. Okay. I just hope the registration is correct. Sometimes the paper doesn't land exactly where I want it. Now, since I'm hoping this is the last layer, I will leave it a little bit longer, maybe like 5 more minutes. And I can feel with my hand that the paper is really soaked with moisture because of all the collage. But hopefully that should dry out by tomorrow. Okay, this is the exciting part. Let's see what we have here. I just hope the collage doesn't rip off. I think it's pretty much intact. All right. Check this out. How do you like that? It has a very Spanish feel to it because of the orange and earthy colors. Kind of reminds me of the Braque and Picasso style of the 1930s and the 1940s. I'm pretty pleased with this. Here's a close-up. Now, when you see geometric shapes like this, your mind is tempted to associate them with familiar objects, and that's human nature. It's very natural to do that. You can look at this image and see musical instruments, or you could see people. You could see all sorts of things. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this. It was truly an adventure. I had no idea of the final outcome, but thankfully it is something that I'm happy with, and I hope you are too. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I hope to see you next time.